Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. Here are the 2016 Libertarian presidential candidates. There were audible sighs of resignation from a significant number of Libertarian following Gary Johnson's underwhelming third-place finish in the 2012 presidential election. For so long, the prevailing argument was that the party needed a high-profile and nationally recognized presidential candidate to elevate the brand and ideology into mainstream American politics and capture the attention of the public. And in Gary Johnson, many believed that they had found such a nominee. After all, his record as governor of New Mexico can withstand the toughest scrutiny, and his campaign is without a doubt the most organized, expensive, and well-funded in Libertarian Party history. All this without factoring the effect of the ostensibly disenfranchised Ron Paul Republicans. So perhaps his not quite 1% share of the total popular vote could be viewed as a disappointment. On the other hand, however, an even larger majority believe that the Libertarian Party is on the cusp of breaking through the two-party hegemony. The flourishing grassroots movement, comprising primarily of the younger demographic, along with the emergence of a blooming national-level election machinery, will accord future Libertarian candidates with some sorely needed organizational support, and perhaps eliminate the perennial issue of ballot access. The key now is to maintain the momentum and leverage the inroads made in 2012 for the imagination of the American public and achieving something that has never been done since 1912, building a nationally competitive third party. And before I list the candidates, let me just say, I had already said, and I was in a small minority within the party, that said what we should do is not reach for the brass ring. We should build all of our local and state, and put all of our effort and our money into making sure that Libertarians get into governor, lieutenant governor, mayor, city council. That's what we should be putting because we can do that. We've already shown we can do that. Some states actually make a clean sweep of everything but the key position of mayor or governor. You have Libertarians in all sorts of positions at the local level and at the state level. Even if they're appointed, they even have appointed Libertarians into those positions. We should make it such that the Libertarian Party has such a stranglehold and such power that there should be absolutely no reason that we can't infiltrate and break up this stranglehold that they have on keeping out third parties from being elected or even getting on the ballot. That was a big thing. And here's something that the American public doesn't know. The Democrats and Republican parties keep third parties out. It's not that people don't want to vote for us. We're not even on the ballot. And there's nothing wrong with a Libertarian or Constitutionalist Party member. We believe in the Constitution. Everything that the Republicans say that they believe in, small government, or defending the Constitution, being beholden to the Constitution, that's exactly what the Libertarian Party, and to some degree the Constitutional Party. I don't know what the Green Party is. I don't know what these, the other, what is it? Green Party, Constitutional Party. Let's take a look here. And here's another thing that I said that we should do. Instead of, although the Libertarian Party is far more successful than the other independent third parties, what we should do is be a third party hub. So we should gather all the other third parties who are sane. Yes, there are some insane parties, like the guy from the Rent is Too Damn High party. He's insane, although everything that he said was sane. But being a party of one, and he got national attention simply by his epic beard and mustache. I mean, who can ignore that guy? He's a black guy with pure white hair, with an epic mustache, epic beard, epic lamb chops. Yeah, you can't ignore that guy. But all he said was the rent is too damn high. But as a libertarian, of course, we're going to go into the economics of his proposals. Well, you're not going to force people to charge less than what the market dictates that they can charge and or more than what people are willing to pay, right? But enough about that. I think that we should be a clearinghouse of all third parties and to solidify our power. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh my God, that's politics. If the Libertarian Party were a clearinghouse of all third parties, meaning you can declare yourself green, Constitution, independent, I guess they're too small to really be counted, independent, and then the Libertarian Party can place you, get behind you, place you, and you're a vassal of ours. But that's politics. That's exactly how politics runs. There's nothing to say that the Libertarian Party should take politics out of politics, but we will adhere to the Constitution and all those other things. We're not going to declare war on somebody that has not done anything to us and then go send our sons and daughters off to go die for absolutely nothing like the Democrats and the Republicans do. See, there's a huge difference. National security would be a real word and not this fake word that they throw around. Oh, that's national security. That's why we're shooting these brown people. That's why we're shooting these yellow people. That's why we're shooting these white people that we don't consider white, although they're white. Okay, here are the presidential declared candidates for the Libertarian Party. Steve Kerbel. He's an author and a CEO. Not a fan of either Republican or Democrat parties, Steve Kerbel holds to a defiantly libertarian platform. He believes in personal freedoms and accountability with the absolute minimum of government necessary to keep the nation running. Kerbel is a pro-business candidate. Mark Feldman, I'm guessing by his name he's Jewish. He's a licensed physician. A minor candidate without a large financial backing. Mark Allen Feldman questions the prevailing wisdom that deep pockets are a prerequisite to victory in politics, contending that votes are not for sale. He is a libertarian and opposed to the fiscal policies of both major parties. Now, he might be onto something. Dr. Ben Carson does not have deep pockets. He doesn't have billions at his beck and call. But what he's running is a fantastically smart campaign. He is solidly beating everybody on the GOP online. His online presence dwarfs everybody else, even Trump's. So Trump gets all of his followers by being a big mouth. And it's entertaining. That's why he's on all the news. But Dr. Carson is running the smartest. He's running an Obama campaign. Obama beat Hillary not because he was getting a whole bunch of money. He beat her because he was online. And for the first time in history, there was a huge young people going to vote instance. Dr. Carson is doing that. So maybe Mark Feldman is onto something. Now, is he running a fantastic online campaign? I've never heard of him until today. Derek Michael Reed, lawyer and engineer, a hard worker with a bright mind that has brought him great academic advancement. Derek Michael Reed is more at home solving equations than discussing politics. He has some fervent political opinions, mostly focusing on personal liberty, but his difficulties in communicating them promises to be a liability. Daryl Perry, author, publisher, and radio TV host, and libertarian activist. A 36-year-old author, publisher, and radio TV host already has more than 15 years of political activity behind him. Perry is a textbook libertarian advocating drastic reduction of the powers of the federal government while granting more powers to the individual. Joy Waymar, veteran and spiritual visionary. Joy Waymar is a godly woman who believes the Lord has shown her the way, even to the point of healing a slew of incurable medical conditions from which she once suffered. Politically, she is a straight-laced libertarian, calling for little government and maximum personal freedom. Cecil Incy, actor and business owner, an actor who makes his living pretending to be the other people. Cecil Incy's desire to be president is very real. He's a libertarian who frowns on encroachment upon personal liberty and worries that the United States is taking an unhealthy globalist attitude in world affairs. Now, we have Gary Johnson, who is not declared, former governor of New Mexico, the ex-construction company owner, governor of New Mexico for 8 years, during which time the state's deficit was wiped out without the aid of any new tax increases. He also memorably vetoed over 750 pieces of legislation to keep a check on the state government's spending. He is undeclared for 2016. He's only included here as a potential candidate. Now, who do I think would make a good candidate for the Libertarian Party? I think actually maybe a TV host, somebody who deals in politics, somebody who has a show of their own that always presents a libertarian viewpoint to everything, including those magazines and journalists who come on to speak on topics who say that they're libertarian, but in actuality are not libertarian compared to such a TV host. Yes, I'm talking about John Stossel. I don't know why he hasn't run yet. I think he's respected. I think he is I think he's an epic libertarian. He has always presented government should not be in this area at all. This is something that is between two citizens. Government should not be in between them. And with a sound mind of economics in his brain, and he keeps educating everybody with it, he could really lead the party to something great. I don't know how much money he has. I don't know how much money. He goes to all of the events. I see him at all. I don't personally see him, but I see him at the political events. He is invited. He does have a good name. Judge Napolitano. He says he's Republican, but every time you talk to him, he says exactly what libertarians say. He's all but undeclared. Or we could finally convince these black Republicans to stop supporting a party who ostensibly votes against us. The Republican establishment are nothing but Democrats, and Democrats vote against us. So the establishment Republican part of the party continually votes against blacks. It takes true Republicans, and it's only Republicans. Democrats do not do anything for blacks. It takes true Republicans to pass a bunch of legislation that actually benefits blacks. If you go through the past 30 years, black people, I'm talking directly to you, look at your taxes, look at your income, look at your overall taxes. I mean, everything, sales, everything. Under every Republican president, black people have actually made strides. Under Democratic presidents, they have fallen. It looks like a graph. When we go up, there's a Republican president. When we go down, it's a Democratic president. Obvious, but now they are getting more and more consolidating into the one party. It's all but a done deal that they're going to declare that they're one party. So all of you people who are actually real conservatives in the Republican Party, your time is up. Your clock is winding down. You're going to be a part of a party that is not you, that is not conservative, that is not about small government, constitutional rights, individual rights. So I'm inviting everybody to the Libertarian Party, especially black people. Now, if we can get a high profile businessman, now Herman Cain's wife told him that he could not run anymore. That's what happened there. She finally put her foot down and Herman Cain pulled out of the race. When his own party came against him, she said, okay, enough is enough. You've had your fun. You're pulling out of the race. And he did. When they went and found some harlot, some whore, some woman who was broke to come and say that he raped her or that he fondled her or something like that, that's when the wife put her foot down. She said, I'm not going to have this. And what's funny is you have Bill Cosby in the news and his wife is telling all of these women, get the hell away from my husband. You're a bunch of lying sacks of poop. Now, you didn't see that with Kobe Bryant or these other women who months later divorced the guy. These are the real people. If we could get maybe Cosby as a libertarian, Cosby, if he would just, if the mainstream media would report that he has indeed sued these women for defamation of character, that he has told them to cease and desist, with the lies that he has paperwork proving that he wasn't even in the country or the state when these allegations supposedly happened? The news isn't reporting this. They will not, because at any point, some other woman can pop up and they want to keep the lie alive. You know, they're out to sell newspaper, right? Now, if the newspaper would just finally come to being real journalists and say, you know, this was all a big hoax, a big scam. He was going to buy NBC, and we were told that we need to destroy him, which is exactly what they did. They pulled all of his shows. They pulled his project that he was going to come out with a brand new show. But I think he still is America's father. And his children have said he is exactly, because there was some debate whether or not Cosby actually was like the character he portrayed. Cosby came up with a character. Nobody wrote that character for him. Cosby came up with a character. His daughters said he is the exact man that you've seen for the past 40 years. He is Father Huxtable. Now, even white people appreciate that show, and there are plenty of white people who come out and said, I didn't have a dad. Bill Cosby was my dad growing up. I learned lessons about life watching a TV show that my mother could not convey to me, but a TV show conveyed those to me. And he dealt with everything. If you go back and look at the shows, he dealt with everything from drugs to police, everything. And what's funny is, so did the Fresh Prince. Everybody concentrated on Will Smith, but the family in the background acted as a real family should. They solved problems too. It's a wonder that those shows are now all taken off the air because, you know, NWO doesn't want anybody to have some sort of sense of what a father does, what a good mother does, what a good wife does, what a good husband does. They don't want to, even white men are under attack. I say black men are under attack, even white men are under attack. If we could get Cosby to come over to the Libertarian Party, because he said the same thing. He's talked about individual responsibility, but he's also meaning individual freedom. You have the freedom to fail. You have made some choices that are bad, and you need to take responsibilities for those choices instead of having everybody pay for them. It's a choice to get pregnant. It really is a choice. It's a choice. It's a decision. You might say, well, I was too young. No. Nowadays, you learn that stuff when you're like 13, 12, 11, some ridiculous thing. Or you learn it on the street. You know exactly what's going on. If we could get Cosby into the Libertarian Party, first of all, he has deep pockets. He was headed towards being a billionaire. I don't know what his finances are now. As far as I know, he has not paid out $100 million like Gloria Allred has tried to blackmail him into doing. Same with some of the women have tried to blackmail him. They don't come out with that. But if we could get somebody like Cosby, because of his political ideals, I know black people don't want to hear, pull up your pants, stop opening up your legs. But I say it too. Pull up your pants, stop opening up your legs. You don't want to get shot by the police, play the game. You can, and what's really terrible is, now the middle class black boys are getting into it. You're pulling down your pants, you're middle class. You go to private school, or you go to damn near private school. You live in the suburbs, and then you listen to these idiots rapping, and those idiots rapping also went to private school, talking about they have street cred. They don't have street cred, they have nothing. Literally, they're not even saying stuff that is even beholden to them. They're repeating what some white Jewish kid wrote for them, and the big music representative has told them to say. They're simply the face. They're like Milli Vanilli, and they come from the suburbs. And now you have black kids from the suburbs trying to emulate thug life. And we have these twisted black girls and young ladies talking about they want a thug. You don't want a thug. A thug is death all the way around without even police involved. A thug is death. And black people don't want to hear that. But I'm here to tell you, you need to take responsibility. And you need somebody like Cosby. Or there's some other people who have said, you have some of these older rappers who are now saying this. Paul Mooney says this. Go listen to Paul Mooney talk about Cosby. Paul Mooney talking about Cosby. And Paul Mooney says the same thing. Black people don't want to hear you tell them to pull their pants up and stop opening your legs to any damn Negro that comes along. Ooh, he's fine. Fine doesn't pay the rent. You got Beyonce over here looking like a whore, cheering all the whores, talking about pay my bills, pay my rent, pay my telephone bills. You got TLC talking about you're sitting in the passenger seat of your homeboy's ride. You have black women just attacking Negroes for having absolutely nothing going on, and yet you have the other women, like Nicki Minaj, talking about how much of a slut she is, and how fantastic it is to be a whore, and how dick is everything that there is in her life. It's the be-all, end-all. You can't be shaming black men in one song and then praising no-name Negroes without a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of in another song, and then get mad at Cosby for telling you don't do that. You need to hear it. But if you don't listen to Cosby, listen to Ice-T. Listen to Ice Cube. Listen to these 40, 50-year-old rappers who have now come of age, who are now millionaires, almost billionaires, who have children and children's children, grandchildren, and listen to them, what they say in person. They say exactly what Cosby says. Listen to Dr. Anderson talk about group economics. It's what the Libertarian Party is saying. We're all under attack, black and white. The black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. We're being stomped on by everybody. Even the whites who don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of, they still consider themselves superior to black people. Even rich, what did Chris Rock say? Even a rich black person. They will take being white over being a rich black guy. That's what Chris Rock said. So yes, we're all under attack, including white men, and white men get hated on from all sides, but nowhere near like a black man gets hated. Even our own black women have been convinced by white lesbian women that somehow the black man is to blame for something. They don't even know what it is, but the black men are to blame for it because their man, they have some sort of gripe with their white man. So they've convinced the black woman to do it. You get mad at Cosby and then you ignore all of the success stories about black men. Oh, this black man is a billionaire. This black man is billionaire. This black man is billion. This black man brought all the houses, bought 50 houses in New Orleans. You can't even get that story on the national news, but you can get some random story about a police shooting some guy who pulled a gun on 50 police who did what is it? Remember the Alamo, running out the drug house, running out the crack house, gun drawn, shooting. I have absolutely no time for that. Why is that on the national news? To me, that's like reporting water is wet. Some poor black guy ran out the crack house, or what is it called? The trap house, ran out the trap house, guns drawn, looking like a damn Mexico with a sombrero on, shouting like Yosemite Sam, talking about, remember the Alamo, I'ma take all of y'all down with me, and got shot to death 20 times. And that's exactly what police are supposed to be. That's what I would have done. You don't think I would have shot? I would have shot too. If some Negro's coming at me with 2 guns blazing, I'm shooting. You can't be and black people holding a march over this. This is not what you hold a march over. And you don't hold a march over some Negro shooting at a police and the police trying to shoot and accidentally hits a girl in the house. Okay, why are you there? If you really cared, hold on. Let me be even worse than Cosby. If you really cared, the little girl wouldn't be in the neighborhood where people have shootouts, or shoot at each other, or people who shoot at the police. I don't live in such a neighborhood. Well, people can. How come Mexicans can live 15 deep in a 1-bedroom house, but black people can't? And the reason why you're on welfare, you're on WIC, is because the parents don't say, okay, let's be logical about this. You're trying to date a guy with no money. You have 2 options. A, don't date him. But if you're going to continue to date him, let's talk about some marriage in the picture. And since you have no money, stay with us until you can save up to buy a house. Black people don't do that for some reason. They used to. We used to. We didn't need welfare. We didn't need WIC. We didn't need food stamps. We used to live 15 Negroes deep in a 1-bedroom house. Yes, we did. And I don't care if it was a shack. We built it on our land that we had. Built a shack. Okay, now the new couple's in a shack. And I'll take care of the grandbabies. You two go work somewhere. Even if it's cleaning toilets. That's what black people used to do. You're mad at Cosby? Be mad at me. I'll tell you the real truth. I'll give you your history. like nobody else can. I'll go back all the way before white people even showed up, before white people were even a thing, when white people were still running around in loincloths, talking about I'm Eric the Red, talking about I'm Oliver of England, of the British, who are actually killed off. Now they're all Germans. Black people, you need to join the Libertarian Party. This is my plea. The Democrats are not doing it for you. It's been 60 years. You switched from the Republican Party, who did everything for you, including give you your freedom for those of you who were enslaved. Even start passing legislation to repeal all of those laws against you brought on by the Democrats. Even after slavery, you can't teach a Negro to read and write. You can't educate a Negro. A Negro cannot come to the university, cannot come to the college, cannot come to the high school at all. Why do we have black colleges? Because we were disallowed by law. White people, I'm talking to you now. You don't know your history? It was in the law. Black people could not go to university, to a white university. So we had to come up with our own. Who did that money come from? Rich black people. The ones who were free the entire time. Now you're teaching black people who should hate the rich black people. It was the rich black people that did everything for the South. Established the schools, established the colleges, established the universities. It was the black people who did that. Everybody wants to give credit. Oh, the carpetbaggers came down. No. When it's talking about money, white people aren't around. It's the rich black people who did that. You tried the Democrats for 60 years now. What have they gotten you? And under Obama, you are at the height of poverty, the height of no wealth, the height or the depth of everything. You are leading the country in all of the negative statistics under Obama, not under Bush, not under Reagan, not under Bush Sr. I say you give libertarians a try. I want you to question your loyalty to the Democratic Party. I want you to sit down and think about it. Finally, if you do, I notice black people don't sit down and think about stuff. You need to sit down at your kitchen table and think about it. What has the Democrats done for you? And for the black Republicans, what has the Republican Party done for you since you now joined? There has been a resurgence of black people joining the Republican Party. But it doesn't matter because now there is establishment. We call them rhinos, Republican in name only. Those are the ones who are now running the Republican Party. So you're not going to a conservative party anymore. You're simply going to Democratic Party 2.0. That's all it is. And I know they come out and say stuff and they pretend like they're against each other, but you notice the Iran deal, they both vote the same way. The Planned Parenthood, which is killing black babies, they're not killing white babies. Do you think they wouldn't vote against us if they were killing white babies? They're not killing white babies. They are decimating, destroying, slaughtering black babies and selling the parts. And black people are having a debate over it. There's nothing to debate. You're being slaughtered like sheep, like cows, like pigs. That's the slaughterhouse. And they're located in black neighborhoods. I know Bill Cosby didn't tell you this. I'm telling you this. You're mad at Bill Cosby? I'm going to tell you the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You can't join the Republican Party now. It's the Democratic Party 2.0. Join the Libertarian Party. You have a chance. You have power now. I want you to take a look at this, and I said this in the Trump video. Trump got 25% of the vote in a national poll of the black vote, which puts him ahead of Hillary by 45%. That's from black people. You need to think about that. That's political power. You have political power, you just don't know it. And those are the Libertarian presidential candidates for 2016 and my rant. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.